Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Decided to do another video. It was like a bonus video for the week. As I preached at West Warren Baptist Church this morning, got the privilege of preaching for that congregation this morning. And some people, when I say I'm preaching or going somewhere to preach, they want to hear, well, at least what I talked about. So I'll try to keep it short so that it's not a whole long, just give you a short rundown of what I talked about. I started with James chapter 2. The entire chapter is divided into two sections. But both of them connect because it was written as a letter. And as all letters, it's supposed to be read consecutively because all of them connect and have a meaning. That's, I guess you can say that with all of the Bible, all the New Testament, all of it connects, all of it has meaning, has it has value to life. And so the first part of James talks about when you're in a congregation, talking about a church setting or a congregation setting, or whenever you meet as a congregation of the church, don't play favorites. Not to play favorites. Just suppose that somebody rich, famous, comes to your church, or an actor or sports figure that is famous comes to your meeting, and then you marvel over them. You give them all your attention, but somebody comes in that looks poor and disheveled and looks ratty, or looks like they have no money, and at least that's the appearance of it, and they look like they're poor, and you treat them with disrespect. You're discriminating against those who may be seeking God, just because one has money, one doesn't. One has fame, one doesn't. And that all are equal in the sight of God, because God created them all, and that everyone matters to God. Everyone matters to the Creator, God. And that He sent His Son to die for not only the rich person, but also for the poor person as well. And we have no right to discriminate against that. Because a lot of times, the people that are giving us the most problems aren't poor, they're rich. The ones that are making the decisions, the ones that are causing us grief and charging us taxes, they're not necessarily poor. And they're the ones that will drag you into court and try to take every penny you have for the smallest inconvenience. And that's what James talks about in that first section of chapter 2. And then the section that a lot of people preach on is the faith and deeds. And because it talks about showing your faith, showing you believe in the one, showing that you look like the one you claim to follow. You claim we follow Jesus. But if we don't look like Jesus, but yet say we believe in Jesus and that we're a Christian, but do the exact opposite what Jesus looks like, it hinders your message. And it ruins everything that you stand for and that you talk about. And people see it. People see and understand that what you're doing. And we're going back to the rich part of it. We know those ministers that get on TV and they stand in front of thousands and thousands of people who tell them, if you only believe, you just have faith. If you have faith, God is going to give you all this wealth, all this money, all this power, all this fame, all this riches. You won't have a worry in your life. Because look at what it did for me. And sure, if I said videos that said, this is what you're going to do, this is how it's going to help you, this is how it's going to make you feel better, and all you have to do is pray this prayer, and God's going to send you riches and riches and riches. But the scripture doesn't say that. In fact, they even say, if you believe in what I'm saying, call this number and donate some of your money to this cause. And some of the people that they're exploiting don't have very much, and give their money to these people who are using God to make money and to rip people off. And that we have to be careful of. We have to be careful that we're not showing that same fakeness to the world, because that can hinder our message and our gospel message. And I also read the Good Samaritan, because it says we need to love our neighbor as ourselves. And not only that, when we go about our day-to-day lives and we see people that truly need help, no, we don't offer any help. It does nothing. It does nothing to help them. You got to reach out. Reach out to help other people. And even if it's to say a kind word. It's doing more than what most will do. Just tell somebody that you love them, that you care, and that you're there for them, truly there for them. And that's a powerful message to send. If we're supposed to be claiming that we follow Jesus, but we show no love, and we don't help other people, we say that Jesus won't help you because you're in X or this condition. And that's just wrong. We got to do better. And then I read the story of the Good Samaritan, where an expert of the law challenges Jesus. One asks, how do I get to heaven? Jesus says, you're an expert of the law. You know what it says. What does the scripture say? And he says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind. And the last part is love your neighbor as yourself. And then Jesus says, go and do it. You just told me it. Go do it. And he wanted to justify himself. And he says, and who is my neighbor? And then Jesus tells a story of this guy that goes down a road. And it's a road he shouldn't be on. And ultimately he gets mugged and left for dead. And 3 people come by that can help him. First one is the priest. Walks on the other side, does nothing to help him, keeps on going. Second is a Levite, and in that time would have been like a equivalent of a police officer or paramedic, seeing the guy in this condition, just walking up by on the other side. And then Jesus says a Samaritan. And Jews and Samaritans didn't get along. They didn't like each other at all. But the Samaritan takes him, puts him up into a hotel or pays his bill, and then says, hey, if he has any other extra, I'll pay for his whatever costs that he needs. Just take care of it. Then Jesus asked the expert law, who was the neighbor? And the man was so filled with hate towards the word Samaritan being used, he just says, the one who took care of the man. And I tell you, there's a lot of Christians with that same amount of hate. And we say that we follow Jesus. We can't have hate at all if you're wanting to follow Jesus and say that you follow him. But I see a lot of people write hate on Facebook. We can't do that. We gotta stop that, guys. We gotta show love to everyone, not just who we like or who we agree with. We gotta show compassion to all people. And I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you all have a good week. I'll post again on Friday.